Hear what? I'm receiving some sort of transmission. Routed through the main system. Routing.
Looking to take a Disney vacation or cruise? Contact Kristen of MagicalJourneysVacations.com. Magical Journeys is an authorized Disney vacation planner. Kristen will get you the best price available and continue to search for deals until the day you travel, taking the worry out of planning your fantastic vacation. Kristen can help plan your dining reservations and answer any questions you may have. She'll even send you maps from the parks. So contact Kristen of Magical Journeys for your next cruise or Disney vacation, and you'll be supporting WDW Tiki Room. Contact Kristen of Magical Journeys at MagicalJourneysVacations.com and mention Sorcerer Radio. So what are you waiting for? Book today at MagicalJourneysVacations.com.
Wow, that sounds great. I want to go. Well, you can't. Why not? Because we have to stay at our posts and keep rebel scum like him out.
Book today at MagicalJourneysVacations.com.
You are going to be a force for good and a very important sorcerer.
The following is an original production of the Sorcerer Radio Network.
Are you insane?
Broadcasting live from Music City.
Walt Disney's
WDW Tiki Room, the show about all things Disney.
Hey, Michael, mi amigo, pay attention, it's showtime.
So it is, and what darling people I have sitting under me.
With Kristen and Aljon.
We better start the show rolling.
We're back on the show. Thank you for joining us on WDW Tiki Room on Sorcerer Radio. Aljon, Kristen, and Ryan Hurley all here on air, and you can interact with us via Facebook. Find us at WDW Tiki Room, Twitter. Just interact with us. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget, you can check out very special highlights of the programs for the past, 5 years this year, Kristen, of WDW Tiki Room on iTunes and Stitcher. It is a WDW Tiki Room podcast. So please feel free to download the show and give us those 5-star ratings. We'd also appreciate that. A lot of movies on the plate for Disney this year, starting with, in just a few days, a new film by Lucasfilm, animated film called Strange Magic. Have you seen this? I know, Ryan, you've seen the trailer I posted at Jedi Mouseketeers YouTube. Kristen, this is new to you. What did you think about Strange Magic?
Oh, what do I
thoughts
say?
On Strange Magic?
What do I say about it? It looks, so don't take this the wrong way for any fans of this other company, but it looks like a DreamWorks movie.
Right?
It definitely, I mean, I know this movie has no official affiliation with Disney.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Look, to the Touchstone Pictures.
Okay, true. True. Okay.
It's like Lucasfilm, so I'm calling it Disney.
That's a good point. That's a good point. It doesn't feel like a Disney film. Let's just put it that way.
At least from the trailer.
Yes, from the trailer, it does not look or feel anything like a Disney film.
Now,
a Disney animated film.
For the uninitiated, let me read the description of the film. Strange Magic, a new animated film from Lucasfilm Limited, will be released by Touchstone Pictures January 23rd of 2015. Strange Magic is a madcap fairy tale musical inspired by A Midsummer Night's Dream. Popular songs from the past 6 decades help tell the tale of a colorful cast of goblins, elves, fairies, imps, and their hilarious misadventures sparked by the battle over a powerful potion. Lucasfilm Animation Singapore and ILM Industrial Light and Magic, which created the CGI animation for the 2011 Academy Award-winning film Rango, that's why it looks like that, brings to life the fanciful forest turned upside down with world-class animation and visual effects. Of course, the story is by George Lucas, so they're billing it from the mind of George Lucas. Directed by Gary Rydstrom from Toy Story Toons, produced by Mark S. Miller, who produced Mars Attacks, one of my favorite movies, and executive produced by George Lucas with a screenplay by David Brenbaum from Elf, and Irene McKay, who is involved in Brave and the Lion King. Let's see here. The voice acting cast. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Alan Cumming from The Good Wife, Evan Rachel Wood from The Ides of March, Kristen Chenoweth from Broadway's Wicked, Maya Rudolph from Bridesmaids and Big Hero 6. Kristen, you'll like this guy because we've talked to him. Sam Palladino from ABC's Nashville. He's got a British voice. Did you know that?
Yeah. The guy that plays...
I forgot.
Oh, gosh, I just forgot his character's name.
Yes.
I'll remember in a second.
Yes, he's the brunette. He's newcomer Meredith Ann Bull, Alfred Molina from Chocolate. You might know Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Elijah Kelly from Hairspray, and Bob Einstein from HBO's Curb Your Enthusiasm. You're one of your sister's favorite shows, Kristen, and Peter Stormare from Fargo. And well-known music producer Maris DeVries from Moulin Rouge serve as both the musical director and composer. Now, Kristen, you like Moulin Rouge.
I do like it.
So there's a possibility of maybe you getting into the musical aspect of this film. So, yeah, I know that the crowd goes mild on this one. So, Strange Magic, once again, hitting theaters from the mind of George Lucas, January 23rd. So it's going to be a George Lucas sandwich for this year, 2015.
Yeah, definitely.
So if that wasn't enough.
Sam Palladino plays the character of Gunner Scott.
Gunner yep. Scott. That's right, Gunner. All right. He's going to kill us for not knowing this. He's going to listen to this show and go, Aljon and Kristen, you should know who I am. I've only talked to you like several times already. So I'll probably see him next week. So February 20th, the sports documentary McFarland USA comes out. Live action film Cinderella is out March 13th. New trailer posted at JediMusketeer.com. Your thoughts on the live action Cinderella? What do you guys think of that? Do you like this whole live action fairy tale thing film that Disney's trying to be portraying? Well, Maleficent being the first?
I had no expectations for Maleficent, and then when I watched that film, it was absolutely fantastic. So I think I'm probably going to go into this one with the same mindset. And I mean, you know, how often does Disney do us wrong? You know, so I'm sure it's going to be a smash hit, and we'll see what it turns out as.
I tell you,
the girl
the trailer
who
looks pretty good.
She doesn't look like Cinderella to me.
But did the Maleficent, the live action Maleficent, didn't really look like the animated one though?
I mean, it's a little bit harder to look like Maleficent than it is to look like Cinderella.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. We could have had a Taylor Swift come in. She could have done Cinderella.
You know what? Someone has told me about casting Taylor Swift in a Disney film. So yeah. That's
now you know who plays her mom in the movie, right?
Go for it. I've got the description here.
Do you recognize her? Did anybody recognize her from the previews?
Go ahead, Kristen. Who is it?
No, it's Agent Carter.
Well, yeah, Haley Atwell.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
It took me a few times of watching it to put it together. It was like, oh my god, I know the voice, and I can't recognize her.
Sure. Well, this is a story of the young Cinderella followed through life. The story that with a few twists. Lily James played the young Cinderella. Kate Blanchett plays the stepmother. I like Kate Blanchett. She's great. Holiday Granger is Anastasia, and Drizella is played by Sophie McShera, and it looks like a really cool movie. So I guess Prince Charming is Richard Madden in there, and the beggar woman is Helena Bonham Carter, which she looks great in this film. I mean, she's always the kooky person anyway. There's always something really interesting about Helena Bonham Carter. Kristen, you have a love-hate relationship with this woman, don't you?
No, I actually like her. She's so weird.
I like her too. She's great. I liked her in Harry Potter. Loved her in Planet of the Apes. Alice in Wonderland, she was great. So I have big expectations. What really wows me is their use of color and costumes in the trailer. So please check it out. Cinderella, hidden theaters, March 13th. of this year, and I'm looking forward to it. And by the way, not to be outdone, as the Frozen continues to dominate the hearts and minds of Disney company and the shareholders alike, Frozen Fever, a brand new Frozen short featuring all your favorite characters from that film, will be having a new song playing in theaters that opens up for Cinderella as well. So catch the double doozy, Frozen Fever and Cinderella, March 13th. And of course, you can pick up tickets through our Fandango link at wdwtikiroom.com. Now, Earth Day coming up. Disney Nature always puts out amazing documentaries. I know, Ryan, I feel like your wife, because we're all friends, probably drags you to the theater kicking and screaming to watch a Disney Nature movie every year. I know that I loved watching Bears. Kristen and I saw Bears a couple days ago. Loved it. I loved African Cats. Monkey Kingdom is coming out, and it looks great. Once again, another great Alistair Fothergill created documentary for Monkey Kingdom coming out April 17th. May 1st, okay, here's where the stuff gets deep. May 1st, Marvel's The Avengers Age of Ultron. And just recently during the college playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, on ESPN, Marvel released a brand new trailer for the Age of Ultron. And I feel that, a couple years back, they started, promoting the Avengers. I feel that they really played a lot on that trailer, and no matter what version of the trailer you saw, I was immediately sucked in. But I felt like I've almost seen the entire movie for the Avengers just in that trailer, and I'm a huge fan of the Avengers movie. I look at this trailer for Age of Ultron, and I'm thinking, I know I'm seeing some new stuff, but sure, I mean, there is so much stuff I haven't seen, like characters I was told that are supposed to be in this movie I have yet to see. So I feel like there's still a lot of mystery there. What do you guys think about Avengers supposedly going to be the biggest film of 2015? Kristen, you go ahead.
I'm excited for it. I'm a fan of, the Avengers. I like Thor and Iron Man and all that. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm a big fan of James Spader is playing the villain. He's got that kind of. He's never played a nice guy that I know of, and he's good. He's really good at that. I mean, Blacklist. If somebody told me
I was going to say
the TV show was not written with him in mind, I'd be like, you gotta be kidding me, because that role is so him. So yeah. I think he's gonna be great at villain in that, and
his voice,
I'm excited.
His voice is so filled with like disdain and angst, like it's
yeah, but it's also playful in a way.
Yes,
like he's toying with you, or there's some type of wink and a nod that happens. And that's why the character of Red, Kristen got me into Blacklist, and I like it a lot just because of his performance. But he's always performed that guy, like the likable, the guy that you just love to hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for those of you who have been living under a rock, Age of Ultron is the epic follow-up to the biggest superhero film of all time. Tony Stark tries to jumpstart a dormant peacekeeping program. Then things go awry, and Earth's mightiest heroes, including Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, the Incredible Hulk, Black Widow, and Hawkeye, are put to the ultimate test as the fate of the planet hangs in the balance. The villainous Ultron emerges, and it's up to the Avengers to stop him from enacting his terrible plans. And every time I read that, I think to myself, terrible plans, maniacal laugh, maniacal laugh, maniacal laugh. And soon uneasy alliances and unexpected action pave the way for an epic and unique global adventure. And of course, reprising the roles, you've got Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans as Cap, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Ruffalo as the Hulk, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, Samuel L. Jackson's back as Nick Fury, Colby Smulders as Agent Maria Hill. We also know that we have two Inhumans in there with the Scarlet Witch and
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, yep. We also know that Paul Bettany, the voice of Jarvis, is going to be playing the Vision, which is a new superhero. I know all about this because I'm a comic book geek, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. I also happen to know that there are a few other superheroes that will be in here as well, like a War Machine, for one.
Yep.
As well as maybe another person from Asgard who will go unnamed. But, yeah, this
How
should
about
be
my favorite?
probably your favorite, yes. That's why I hear a rumor.
Yes, I saw that he's going to be in it.
He actually spoiled it. Tom Hiddleston as Loki, I believe, is going to be making a little appearance in this film as well. So
he's actually a huge Indiana Jones fan. Just a little side there.
He's a big fan of everything. I mean, what was it, Kristen? A few years back at the D23 Expo, we heard him sing The Bare Necessities from the Jungle Book.
Oh, yes, that was so awesome. Oh, my God.
I know, right? And of course, he also plays Captain Hook now, so how can that be bad? This is a good thing. Tom Hiddleston. We need more Tom Hiddleston.
Isn't it nice that we're in the age where actors all come back to reprise their roles? It's not like the old days where you just have the same character, just different actors. Like after like the old Bond movies or even the old Ninja Turtles movies, you have like.
Well, how about the old Batman movies? For
the old Batman movies, yeah.
Everybody takes a turn at Batman, apparently. But this is great. I mean, they recast the Hulk, they recast James Rhodes' War Machine, but I think overall these actors and actresses are in for the long haul. Now, my question to you all is, how much do you want to bet Coulson makes some type of cameo in this movie?
Based off of what's been going on the television show.
Yeah.
Yes, on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Will he or won't he? Is my question.
I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say yes. Kristen, what do you say?
I say yes.
Yeah, will he tell the Avengers that he really didn't die? Well, I think that's like the biggest non-secret, because Lady Sif knows. So why not? Tell Thor. He won't mind. You can see Marvel's Age of Ultron, the Avengers Age of Ultron, in theaters on, what was it, May 1st. Holy smokes, guys. Tomorrowland, it comes out May 22nd, just right around the corner. And this is George Clooney's flick, folks. Tomorrowland. Brad Bird, mysterious stuff going on. People disappearing in a blink. This one looks like an interesting sci-fi tale.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
And talk about the difference in the marketing, right? Where, like you were saying with Age of Ultron, you feel like you know the whole story, but there are obviously still things that you don't know based off of this last trailer. You're like, oh wait, there's other characters in here that I didn't see in the original one. So obviously there is stuff in that movie that we don't know about yet. But you compare that to like the Tomorrowland movie, and we know nothing.
Wow, yeah.
We know absolutely nothing about this movie.
It's
There's
shocking.
a girl and a guy, George Clooney, I don't know, something, there's the pin.
There's a field.
It's a and there's
pick up something.
There's a rocket jetpack, I think. If you slow it down, there's a jetpack at some point. That's it. That's all we got.
Yeah. Talk about a film shrouded in mystery. This one is definitely it. Tomorrowland.
I actually saw them filming at Carousel of Progress in Magic Kingdom. Yeah, I got to see a little bit. So at some point that's going to come in. I don't know when.
Well, I feel, I feel that, these movies based on these Disney attractions and things like that, they're going to do it right. So let's see what happens with Tomorrowland. Now, here's something people love. When we saw the preview for Pixar's Inside Out at the D23 convention, Kristen and I were smiling because it was so cute, so well done, and it looks like a great film. And it has the possibility of having that charm that we love to see from Pixar in films like Up. So Pixar's Inside Out hits theaters June 19th. And if you haven't seen the trailer, you can once again check out Inside Out's trailer at Jedi Mouseketeer on YouTube, and you can check that. Now, here's a sleeper hit of this year, Marvel's Ant-Man, July 17th. Paul Rudd plays Ant-Man, and also in the supporting cast.
This is just going to be a little movie.
Just a teeny little movie. But I feel this is kind of Marvel's foray into comedy, you know?
Well, and Aljon, talk to our listeners about why, like, who Ant-Man is and why they're making an Ant-Man movie. Why Disney is making an Ant-Man movie.
It's an Avenger. You know, he's one of the first Avengers. And in the comic book, Hank Pym, who is played by Michael Douglas. Is it Michael Douglas? Yes. He actually is a scientist that invents a way to shrink himself down to a atomic level, basically. And Paul Rudd's character Scott Lang comes in, and he has a troubled past, and then he befriends a scientist and becomes a superhero unknowingly. You know, so this is the story of a reluctant superhero. You've seen Thor, and he's a demigod. You've seen Tony Stark, brilliant, bombastic. You've seen, a tragedy happen with the Incredible Hulk getting blasted by gamma rays. And then you have this guy, he's like the unlikely hero. He's got a sick kid. He's got problems. He's just your average Joe off the street. He's not a scientist. The original Ant-Man was a scientist, of course, Michael Douglas's character. But I think this little movie is going to turn out to be a big hit. And by the looks of it, by the way, the trailer actually had more hits than Guardians of the Galaxy, and we know how big that movie became. So this one looks to actually break box office records, and maybe, depending on how good it is, might even break the box office record set by Guardians of the Galaxy. So
wow,
we'll see what happens there. July 17th. The Jungle Book, October 9th, okay? Once again, Disney live action brought to the forefront. Jon Favreau, who did the first Iron Man, is doing this film, and the cast is amazing. Have you guys seen anything about the Jungle Book?
I have no info about the Jungle Book.
Okay, it's pretty interesting to say the least. And of course, it follows the same path as the animated classic, The Jungle Book, directed by Jon Favreau, who did Iron Man. Also joining the cast, the voice of Kaa. Okay, maybe you remember Kaa. That's Scarlett Johansson.
Wow.
The voice of Baloo is Bill Murray.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Okay. If you couldn't get enough Avengers action, the voice of Shere Khan is Idris Elba, who was the guardian of the gate, the Rainbow Bridge in Thor.
Wow.
Yeah. Heimdall. Christopher Walken plays King Louis. I love it.
Goodness gracious.
Right? Raksha, the voice is actually played by, and I say the voice, it's actually them, the live action. Well, it's going to be, some type of animation, but Lupita Nyong'o, who's in the new Star Wars film, plays Raksha. Bagheera is played by Ben Kingsley, okay, from Iron Man, who played the Mandarin. Mowgli is voiced by Neil Sethi. So just a little kid, newcomer, playing Mowgli. That's pretty neat, guys. I think this is going to be a really cool thing when you have the likes of Bill Murray, Christopher Walken, Ben Kingsley, Scarlett Johansson. How can you go wrong with this? How can you go wrong with this? On paper, it looks like the best movie ever.
It does.
It does. Especially with the likes of Jon Favreau. And, he is one of the best directors out there, so I dig it. If you don't know what the Jungle Book is all about, for heaven's sake, just watch a Disney movie, okay? It's on Netflix. You'll dig it. You'll dig it the most. I love the Jungle Book. Pixar, okay? The Good Dinosaur. 2 Pixar movies in 1 year? Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Now, typically the November... Yeah, typically the slot for a Disney feature is going to be November 25th. That's usually when the Disney animated film comes out. That's when we had Frozen, and that's when we had Big Hero 6. But this time it's Pixar's The Good Dinosaur. We got nothing on that. Pixar's The Good Dinosaur. Will it or will it not come out November 25th?
Yeah. Now is this the one that's been delayed a couple times?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll find out whether that comes out. Now, last but not least, once again, it is a Lucasfilm sandwich this year. December 18th, the big day, the most anticipated film of all time.
That is not an understatement, by the way.
No, it's not. No. The most anticipated film of all time. Lucasfilm's Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, I did say earlier that Marvel's... There you go. There's that music. Thank you, Ryan, for that. Thank you, John Williams, for that. Just to wrap things up, I did say Marvel's Age of Ultron will probably be the biggest film in terms of box office for 2015, and I say that because it'll have a 3-month uninterrupted run. December 18th, end of the year, the box office returns will spill into 2016, and I guarantee it, this movie is going to be beyond whatever box office there is. I mean, the worldwide demand for Star Wars is at a fever pitch right now. What do you guys think of Star Wars coming out at the end of the year?
They had to put Star Wars The Force Awakens at the end of the year because 1 year could not contain this episode of Star Wars. They had to spread it out into 2 years. I mean, right. What is there to say? You're absolutely right. Fever pitch. I mean, everybody's just waiting for the next trailer, and it's still a year out. Like, I mean, the fact that we got a trailer 13 months before the release is unheard of. That doesn't happen.
I called it though, Ryan.
You did.
I said, and after dark, I said, this coming Thanksgiving, we will have a teaser for Star Wars. And what happens? Bam, there you go.
And people,
and I guarantee us.
And you still have people complaining like, oh, it wasn't enough. I'm like, that's the whole point. It's a teaser.
That's right. Yeah. And once again, I love the little beach ball droid. I love that little guy.
Oh,
that little guy. Yeah, BB-8. So love that little guy. Chris, what do you think about the new Star Wars teaser, and what are your thoughts on how it's going to do on the box office?
Oh, I'm sure it will do well. I mean, the movie is a hit with men, definitely. And then you have some girls who are into it. And I can say I somehow know more women who have not seen it than who have. Not sure why that is, but it's just the way it is. So taking that into account, I think it's going to be huge, but I think it's going to be the guys and the boys are more excited about this. Right now, sure. I'm kind of like, okay, there's another Star Wars movie coming out.
Right.
I need to see a preview that makes me go, oh my God, I have to go see this.
Right.
And it's been so long since a Star Wars movie has come out that I'm just kind of like, okay.
2005.
So.
2005. Okay. Well, I'm sold. I don't know about you. They already have our money, Kristen. You and I are going to see it.
Well, they have your money. There's no saying yet how I'm The only movie that they definitely have my money for this year is Avengers.
Of course. And I'm okay with that.
I'm very picky about, Ryan, what movie I go and see in a movie theater because it's so expensive. I think it's ridiculous that I can own the movie for what it takes for me to go see it. So it has to be something I'm like, I have to see this now, which is a rarity. So.
That's a good point.
Oh, wow.
What was it? Thor was Captain is the last one I saw.
Yeah.
Cap 2?
Yeah, what's that?
The second
Captain
one.
America 2, yeah. That was a great film, too.
Yeah. Well, I think this year Disney is going to have to back up multiple Brinks trucks to cash in all of that dough. that people are going to dole out, because with 2 Pixar movies, 2 Marvel movies, a Star Wars movie, I mean, come on. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's going to be ridiculous.
2014 was a pretty quiet year for the theater industry overall. Besides Guardians and Turtles, it was a very, very, very quiet year. 2015.
Oh, let's not forget Cap. I mean,
that was this year. That was this year.
2 Marvel movies a year.
It was 2015 is not going to have that problem. 2015. Oh man. Yeah.
Well, just you wait, Ryan, because I guarantee you, at the very beginning of this new Star Wars movie, we're going to get a preview clip of the next Star Wars movie.
I can't wait.
I know, right? Oh, it's going to be nuts. I tell you what do you think about the film slate for 2015? Disney pulling out all the stops. You can tweet us at WDW Tiki Room, also on Facebook as well. Let us know what your favorite movie of this year is going to be, what you expect to be the biggest breakout hit for the House of Ideas and for the House of Mouse. Let us know.
The WDW Tiki Room with Kristen and Aljon, the radio show about everything Disney. Sorcerer Radio, srsounds.com.
Pardon the interruption. I have some news which I believe you will find most interesting.
Would you like to hear the latest in Marvel television, film, video games, and comic books? Or are you looking for some ideas on what to pick up on New Comic Book Day? Well, join Mike and Eric on Mighty Marvel Geeks every Saturday night on Sorcerer Radio and every Sunday on the Weeby Geeks Network for all things Marvel.
There is a matter that requires your attention.
Mighty Marvel Geeks. Assemble.
All wrapped up here, sir. Will there be anything else?
Rebel Force Radio.
Your source for the Force.
Star Wars news and commentary.
With Jason Swank and Jimmy Mack.
I've seen Star Wars 500 times.
Weekly live shows and podcasts.
RFR.
Like Rebel Force Radio on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Rebel Force Radio. Your new source for the Force.
Rebel Force Radio with Jason Swank and Jimmy Mack. Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Sorcerer Radio. srsounds.com.
Looking to go to the parks in style? The new Sorcerer Radio vintage t-shirts are now available in the SR shop. You'll stand out in new bold colors and vintage design in sizes small to XXL. Color combos for men, red with gray text, black with yellow text, cobalt blue with white text. For women, sapphire with yellow text, lavender with Carolina blue text, or purple with yellow text. Depending on the style, we have slim fit and regular fit shirts too. Show your love for your favorite online Disney radio station and look good while doing it. Sorcerer Radio vintage t-shirts. Get yours now at the new SR shop at srsounds.com/shop.
Hi, I'm Dave Shute of YourFirstVisit.net, and you're listening to Sorcerer Radio.
Right now, we're going to be kicking off resorts, our review of the various resorts on Disney. You are planning your vacation. You're getting ready to send Kristen an email and book at magicaljourneysvacations.com and say, Kristen, what resort would my family and I like the most? Well, this will help you out. Kristen, why don't you give us a little 411 on Disney's Coronado Springs Resort?
Okay. For those that are unfamiliar with Coronado Springs, it is a moderate resort located over near Disney's Animal Kingdom Park. It's a southwestern themed resort. It's a pretty large resort. It has 3 different sections: the casitas, the ranchos, and the cabanas. And it circles around a 22-acre lake. That's very relaxing, I will say that. And the different areas, like, what is it? I believe it's the cabanas that have a little beach area that has the hammocks in it. So, it's each area you can tell that you're in a different section of the resort. It does have a couple of, what are they called, like smaller pools, but then they have a big, large pool that's the dig site pool. And it has the largest outdoor hot tub at Walt Disney World, so it can hold 22 people in it.
Getting in the hot tub.
It also has a 50-foot replica of a Mayan pyramid that has like a little water slide that goes down.
Absolutely.
So it does have its own health club there. There's a 24-hour fitness center with a spa, and that has kind of like limited things that you can get done. And of course, you have to call and get a reservation for that, as well as dining. There is dining there. You have you have Maya Grill, which is a Mexican. Of course, all these are Mexican themed, but this is a little more upscale for the different, probably the most upscale of their restaurants that they have there. There's also Las Ventanas, and that one opened in 2014, and it's located right outside the convention center. Then for quick service, you have Cafe Rick's. So that's kind of where you walk in and, you kind of go, okay, I'm going to grab this from the cooler and, grab salads and things like that.
Grab and go.
Pepper Market is the food court. Then they have two different lounges. There's Rick's Lounge, and that's a nice bar that's inside the main building. Mm-hmm. And then you also have Laguna Bar, which is the outside bar that, you're going to just grab like a drink and sit outside and kind of chill. So that's your dining options there. And just like the other moderates, they have some recreation. You've got in the evening, I believe it's around 5 o'clock, they do campfire activities. So you can roast some marshmallows. They also have volleyball. There's a jogging trail, kids playground, as well as the Iguana Arcade. So that's that for you.
Tell you what, I love this resort. You walk in, it's really nicely themed. The staff is among the most courteous people on property. And for me, I like, I'm a business traveler. I travel a lot. And this place, for me, is a great place for young adults, families maybe with older children, because of the different amenities there. Like the Rick's Lounge is a really nice dance club. The Grab and Go at Cafe Rick's, the Pepper Market food court, the Maya Grill. It just satisfies so many different tastes for so many different people. And I tell you, I feel like I'm on vacation when I'm there. I feel like I'm at a nice resort. There's little sandy areas, hammocks. The rooms are spacious. I love this place. Ryan, how about you?
Yeah, it's kind of off on its own little spot too. Where it's located. It's I guess technically the closest thing it's by is Blizzard Beach. It's kind of off on its own little spot there, so it's a little quieter. It doesn't have the crazy traffic of say like the Magic Kingdom resorts or anything like that. But with that, don't think that it's by any means empty. It's a very popular resort, but it's very enjoyable. It's got a very relaxed mood there. It's very low stress.
I like that.
Yeah. It does have a convention space there, so there may be conventions going on while you're there, or there may not be. But even if there are, they're kind of off on their own little world too, in the resort. So you're not even going to notice if it's not going to impact your stay at all if there are any conventions going on there. So,
well, you said it right, Ryan. That's the whole point. When I, Kristen and I were young adults. We don't have children. We like how quiet it is, as you mentioned, and the fact that business travelers are there. So, it does remain mostly quiet during the day, especially if you want to sleep in or get in late. There's not a whole lot of distractions, at that resort at all.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very chill atmosphere there, so it's great. And one thing I will endorse is you were mentioning Rick's Lounge. We've been my wife and I have been doing a lot of the lounges around property at all the different resort hopping, and There, they've got chicken wings. They've got barbecue pork belly sliders. Oh, that sounds amazing. A vegan veggie plate and truffled mac and cheese bites.
What?
Yeah. So,
truffled mac and cheese bites.
Yeah. So I think I know what I'm doing this weekend. So.
Oh, man, I wish I was there. So good. So good. Kristen, you had a great overview of the resort overall. What are your thoughts on this resort? Why do you like it so much?
I like it because it's quiet. It's really quiet. But then again, it has a very large convention center. I mean, the convention center has 2 ballrooms. There's an exhibit hall as well as 45 other rooms for conventions. So I mean, it's a massive convention center for Disney, and so they have a lot of people who come there for conventions, and they're also staying there as well. And there's buildings like the casitas is what's right where the conventions are, and a lot of times that's where they put the people who are attending conventions also up in that part of the hotel near them. And they're quiet, you don't have young kids running and screaming down the halls at 6 a.m. in the morning because they're up and those kinds of things. So I think it's a very nice resort for young couples without kids, people who are there by themselves, singles. I don't feel, because I don't think it's as much, it's not all Mickey'd out, So
not like Pop Century.
It's, if you're a family with young children, it's not the resort I personally would recommend. And that being the reason is it's not as much fitting that kind of, families who are really looking for that Mickey Disney kind of experience. I mean, it's definitely Disney. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Excellent theming. Again, it's that Southwestern kind of laid back, beachy kind of a feel to it, which is, that's one of my favorite themes to the resorts. I always feel like Disney kind of has 3 themes. You have the ones that fit the value resorts. They have that kind of over-the-top theming to it. And then you have your kind of like beachy, laid-back kind of feel, and then the dark, rustic resorts. Everything kind of fits into, I think, one of those 3 categories. And this is one of those beachy style, relaxing resorts. And so if you're looking to just, you want to spend some time at the resort, and you don't want it to be loud. You kind of want to have some time to maybe take the book and sit in the hammock outside the resort and just kind of chill a little bit. This is the kind of resort for that. Again, it has the largest hot tub, which tells you they're going to have a lot more adults there than, as far as like a ratio of like adults to kids. So.
Well, I dig it. Now, how about the rooms? Ryan, I found the rooms to be pretty spacious for a moderate, something I would, something I kind of relate to, type of, I don't know, like a Spring Hill Suites kind of Marriott kind of thing. What kind of vibe do you get from the rooms, and do you like them?
Yeah, they're good. They're, I think they're a pretty standard, customary, moderate resort size room. If you've stayed at any of the other moderate resorts, this is pretty much right down that same idea. It definitely has enough room for you to be comfortable, but at the same time, it's not going to be gigantic. But you're at Disney, so if you want to stay in the room, there's enough room. But there's I think the idea is to this is Florida, go outside, enjoy it. Like you mentioned, the hammock. They have hammocks. Trust me. It is it's. yeah, it's a nice. I will mention the color decor in there is very appealing. It's a very nice. They incorporate the those Aztec teals and the coral. That reddish orangish coral color with some dark woods and some white. So it's a very nice color scheme in this resort overall.
Absolutely.
Chris,
go ahead.
Over the years, they have, when they started changing it to those colors, like the teals with the dark browns and stuff in the rooms, they also changed some of the rooms as well, and they remodeled them to like a different configuration as well. So they have some suites, as well as they added at that time, and this has been maybe 2-3 years ago, they added the business class, which it's like the
concierge
level that you have in the deluxe resort, but it's not up to that same level. You're gonna have breakfast, but you can get like cereal and rolls and bread and that kind of stuff. They do like cookies in the afternoon with chips and fresh fruit and veggies. And then in the evening, they have some wine, cheese, crackers, that kind of stuff.
I liken it kind of to, the business lounge of like an airline kind of, or maybe I experience this at Marriott's because I like to stay at Marriott's, but when I'm on the road, but they also have like a members only type of club, upstairs that will give you a lot of those same amenities, which is really, really nice for business travelers, very convenient for business travelers. So I enjoyed it the most. I think Kristen and I actually experienced that kind of club level when they were beta testing that, and it was great. I enjoyed it a lot. I want to do it again. Is what it boils down to. Once again, this moderate resort, I think, is at the top of our lists, and definitely something Kristen and I look forward to as much as we can. I know a lot of people love spending all day and night at the parks, and they only use their resorts to sleep in, to shower, get ready for the next day. But if you intend on spending some time enjoying the resort, walking around, maybe you're on your honeymoon, maybe you're an anniversary, celebrating something special, this resort may be for you. It's got some great romance attached to it, and is perfect for business travelers if you happen to be in the area. Any closing words, Ryan, Kristen, about this resort?
If I would sum it up, this is a great couples retreat resort.
Yes.
I second that.
Is there anything bad or something that they may be able to improve upon in terms of the guest experience, or maybe some other than the fact that, Kristen, you mentioned families looking to get more of those Disney characters, to get more of the Disney tie-in that maybe one would expect at this resort. It's definitely not present at this resort as it is in, let's say, Art of Animation, for example. But is there anything negative, or Ryan, Kristen, feel free to chime in.
Well, I think you just said it. So this doesn't have everything, but that's okay, because amongst the rest of the Walt Disney World resorts, you do have those options, to fulfill those different needs. Whether it's whether you have little kids or you want some more high paced action at your within your resort. There are those other options. This fits a very good niche, segment of the. Niche isn't even necessarily the right word, but it what it does very well.
There you go, Kristen. I don't think you have too much.
I can't think of anything to say that either of you haven't already said about the resort. It definitely, I think, has it. It's very well suited for the type of people that it kind of targets, which are, conventioneers, couples, those like those looking for a couples retreat. I don't think if you're looking for that over-the-top Disney experience or something that your little kids are going to be all about staying at, I don't think it meets that market. But to me, that's not a con. You have to have something.
Right.
One resort can't fit everybody. Like, I don't think there's any resort that's like perfect for every single person. It's just
right.
It's not. You've got different resorts for everybody, and that's where I think this resort fits. It's like Ryan said, it's a perfect couples retreat.
Exactly right. TripAdvisor ranks this hotel out of 3,641 reviews, a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think that's not bad at all. There's in-room dining as well, so there's room service. You know, maybe the only negative comment is the fact that you do have to maybe walk a long way, maybe from your resort room all the way to the guest services.
Yeah, you don't have to do that either.
You don't.
Because there's an internal bus.
That's right.
I mean, that is something that people don't like, but you don't have to walk it. You can wait and take the internal bus.
Right. I like it. I don't think it's a far walk at all, and it's rather nice. It's very scenic. So if there is a drawback, that may be it.
I'd rather walk that than the Pop Century walk.
You're right. This is true. The thing I will also say that may be a little bit negative about it is the fact that their internet service is very, very slow.
But that's Disney.
Yeah, it is Disney. Disney. It shouldn't be.
Disney issue, not a Coronado Springs issue. That's a Disney issue.
Yeah. Well, it's subpar to what other like resorts in that price range are from what you may expect. So just keep that in mind. But having said that, I think it's great. It's on par with the something you'd get from like a Hampton Suites or something like that if you're looking to make that comparison. But overall, great stuff. And once again, if you're interested in booking at this resort, booking your family vacation, or just maybe some couple getaway time, or even better, if you're on business and you're looking for a home away from home with a little bit of a Disney touch, a Disney twist, this is the resort for you. Book right now with Kristen at magicaljourneysvacations.com. Thanks for that discussion, folks. We appreciate it. And we'll be right back to wrap things up right here on WDW Tiki Room on Sorcerer Radio, srsounds.com. We're back on the show. It's been nice, short, and sweet. A lot of great Disney tunes, and of course, a review of our favorite resort, the Coronado Springs. And once again, you can book with Kristen at magicaljourneysvacations.com to make sure you enjoy every moment of your magical adventure at the Disney parks. Where else can people find you, Kristen, on the interweb?
They can find me at diningatdisney.com, and then when it comes to social media, such as Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, it's Dining at Disney as well.
Mr. Ryan Hurley, once again, 2 weeks in a row. Craziness. Where can people find your podcast, and where can people find you on social media?
Well, you can find me personally on Twitter at FigDonPat, FIGDONPAT, and you can find the Turtle Power Podcast over at turtlepowerpodcast.com. Thanks for having me, guys.
Man, you are the man. Once again, thank you for joining us. You can also find Ryan occasionally joining us at WDW After Dark as well. Coincidentally, you can find that show as well as this show as part of the We Be Geeks podcast network at webegeeks.net. You can download our shows, archives over the past 5 years at iTunes and Stitcher. Follow us at WDW Tiki Room on Facebook and Twitter, and follow me personally at Jedi Mouseketeer. You can visit JediMouseketeer.com for all the latest movie trailers for Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars in there as well. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. On behalf of Ryan, I'm Aljon.
And I'm Kristen.
And we'll see you real soon.
Sorcerer Radio, srsounds.com. Leave your show comments, requests, and discussion topics on the new WDW Tiki Room voicemail. Call 850-888-TIKI. That's 850-888-8454. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at WDW Tiki Room.